Hi there, Frank here for premium members for the trading day of October the 9th, 2025, a Thursday. Let's start with the indexes as usual, and the stampede to the upside has not halted. Here we go. There was a little bit of hesitation, but there's an old saying which is worth remembering. Before the market makes a move, often it makes a move in the opposite direction. I think this is what happened here in this case, and I never really trusted this short. And one more clue, please. This is very important. Everything is very important here. One clue is that this is the cloud. You can think of it as a pillow under our butt here. And this is a linear regression calculation which indicates the strength. The width of this cloud represents or indicates the strength of momentum. Now what happens here? There's a pretty thick momentum to the upside, and now we penetrate with a red candle. You don't need to take that red candle seriously. Actually, this is the best opportunity to go long from. Think of a slingshot. When you really pull it back extremely, that's when the little pebble will go the fastest. Same thing with this. So this is not surprising at all. And when this happens, this is an opportunity to think the opposite direction. If you want, you can make this cloud visible. Hi there, Frank here from Remek. As you know, these market analysis videos are uploaded onto YouTube with a delay. If you'd like to receive them before events happen to make them actionable, please visit remek.ca and subscribe to our premium membership. All the details can be found in the description below the video. We hope to have you on board very soon. Thank you very much and mindful trading. By the way, just a little sidetrack here. Let me right-click on the chart because I want to show you something. The other point I'd like to make in this video is that getting to know our software tools intimately is, I think, proportional to the proceeds or the benefits you can reap from this work. And on this line, let me show you something. So first of all, I mentioned the linear regression calculation, which is display options, which is the trigger shading. If I unclick this, deselect this, then it will not show. But in this case, I'd like to display it. You see, what you display is totally up to you. That doesn't actually affect the mathematical calculations. So whether you display it, the linear regression will be calculated in the background, or if you don't display it, the same thing. This is just a visual convenience, but it's a big convenience, and I like to display it on the chart, you see, especially 4-hour chart, because that's meaningful to me. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to show you. The other thing is that, as you know, in our algorithmic calculations, the trend is one input into the mathematical equation. And we have 4 ways to calculate or define the trend. And my default for many years has been the ADX VMA, as I'm sure you know. But just to show you the difference here, or well, just to point out this highlight here, is that in this case, I'm going to choose Remek Composite, which is the mathematical average of the other 3. So Remek Composite is a quite reliable and like triple checked, you see, way of defining the trend. It is not dramatically different from the other 3. It cannot be because we're measuring price action, but still, I just wanted to highlight this, that I have switched my charts to Remek Composite. So if you're wondering, and if it doesn't, these little signals do not show up exactly in the same candle on your computer, then it's probably because I have switched my laptop here to the Remek Composite, and I'm going to keep it like this for, I don't know how long. If I like it, I might keep it here. I started working this way. By the way, that doesn't change the fact that the ADX VMA line, the Remek version of this reliable indicator, is still on the chart. It will be on the chart, okay? I'm going to still keep it on the chart because my eyes have gotten used to it over the years. All right, so I'm just changing the mathematics in the background. I hope this makes sense. And all the other settings, it's really worth getting a good coffee and going through this once and for all. And maybe if you're still internalizing our method, then spend a little time here regularly. And it really gives me the confidence to do this work. Hi, also, if you like this content, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. And if you know someone who might benefit from this information, then please share this video. This is how you can help us to bring this content to as many traders as possible. Thank you for your help. We'll see you soon. And until then, mindful trading. Okay, so long story short, I wanted to show this to you, and I'm going to click OK. So this is my 4-hour chart. And if you notice, visually, the 4-hour chart and the weekly chart is exactly the same, except that the linear regression is not displayed, because on a weekly time frame, I'm not on this time frame. I just use this weekly as a context, which means that the strength of the momentum is not really that relevant to me on the weekly. I could display it if I wanted to, but I want to keep it simple. But if you notice, I'm just displaying it on the 4-hour chart, and I'm displaying it on the daily chart. Okay, so much about the charts, and now let's continue. The NQ has made new highs, as probably everybody knows. Technological stocks are pushing forward or upwards. No stopping here. So if you're long here, good for you. And if you're still considering new trades, then you can look at the YM and the RTY, because there's a bull flag on the YM. Look at this. Perhaps it's going to move to the upside. There's a volatility compression here too. Okay, so we expect this to break out to the upside. And also the RTY, which still has a few points to go towards the 2550. Here we go. Actually, this is a pretty good looking bull flag here in the 4-hour right now. All right, let's move on to the currencies on which a failure test has failed big time. So this is one of those occasions where I was completely wrong in my prediction, but we were not in a position, so no harm done, but this is just part of this work. Sometimes we're totally wrong, and that's okay. That's okay. So no trigger, no trade. The failure test meant nothing. It broke down. What comes next? Who knows? When something comes up, we'll keep an eye on it. Now moving on to metals, which are, of course, continue to shine. Gold moving towards 4,100. These are historic times, and this is becoming exponential. Of course, entering with new longs here is quite risky. We should have been, and we have been long time ago. And most recently, the weekly volatility compression, which coincided with this breakout from the range. Okay, and SI is 49 plus change, so we're very close to 50, at which point I would tighten my stops. I don't think, as I mentioned, it will stop there. Well, it will stop there, take a break, but that's not going to be the end of it most likely. But of course, nobody knows, so this is an important barrier here. I would definitely remove some profits. But look at the daily chart. The push is so strong, I don't think silver is going to spend too much time at 50. Okay, and the other great success story is palladium, on which PALL or PA, futures market, whichever way you wanted to do this. This is, look at this beautiful breakout, and we were giving a good forecast on this. Remember the weekly, please. This move is not over. And platinum is next, which doesn't have that big room above, but is pushing forward anyway, 1700, practically a 1 hour on the 4-hour chart. We'll be back in the morning, and until then, mindful trading.